Not hurricane then, man, you know?
He was at the door locked and said, it puts the lotion on the skin. He was pointing down at the collection plate.
That's crazy.
No. He put it under the door.
Right.
Right. So that's why a lot of Israelites are gonna get judged.
And he still got people. He still got people going there.
Got huge following.
Right.
Got Big Mama.
Cause that shit white supremacy.
It's the book of Wisdom of Solomon, chapter 14, verse 12. For the devising of idols was the beginning of spiritual fornication, and the invention of them, the corruption of life.
So spiritual fornication is you worshiping another idol, man. And that's what we're guilty of. I remember when the world actually thought that Caesar Borgia was the Lord. And we didn't know any better. That's what we've been programmed to think. But now waking up to the truth, and then you understand the spiritual fornication. That's why our women are whores. We committed whoredom against our power, man. That's why you have the Cardi B's and Nicki Minaj's. That's actually a whoredom. A woman committing adultery on her man. That's like us worshiping another god.
Yeah,
satanic.
He did that so we can see how the Most High feel. It say, verse 13, for neither were they from the beginning, neither shall they be forever. For by the vain glory of men they enter into the world, and therefore they shall shortly come to an end.
Right.
Yeah, you got to think who's bringing in idols. Think about the serpent. Remember the knowledge of good and evil. The serpent put Eve onto what? Horoscopes, astrology. But what did they probably had devices that they used to look up in there? Ain't nothing new under the sun. A telescope ain't a new design.
Yeah.
They probably had some crazy outlandish shit.
Yeah.
And they were idolizing that shit too. They're probably idolizing certain stars, quasars, you know?
Constellations, shit.
Looking at Daniel's vision, this is the most basest kingdom.
Yes.
You know, compared to a head of gold.
Yep. You got Esau saying that they can't even figure out how the pyramids were built with the tools and things like that, in which we built them, but he can't decode and break it down how we built them.
We gonna show them how to build them.
Well, that's right.
even with all the technology, they couldn't replicate it today. They said.
They said the pyramids were built from top to bottom. I don't even know how to fuck. Do you build a building from the top to bottom? The brother said, the corners, you need the foundation.
Right.
And they said they don't have technology to go back to the moon. Because you never did.
Right.
Oh, then they said they lost certain information to rebuild the schematics for the machines. So they can't go back. But we're in the future. But this nigga's on Mars. He's on Mars, so you can't go to the moon. Right. At a McDonald's drive-thru. He got machines taking selfies on Mars. But when I was a child, they said couldn't nobody go to Mars because it was too hot.
Yeah, yep. You can build CERN and not go to the
right.
The moon. Come on, man.
He got bounds he can't pass.
Right.
You know, he can only go so far with his wickedness. If this nigga went to Mars, it'll be peaceful. You know what I'm saying?
It say, for a father afflicted with an untimely mourning, when he made an image of his child soon taken away. Now honor him as a god, which was then a dead man, and delivered to those that were under him ceremonies and sacrifices.
I believe that goes into Caesar Borgia, right? And it's Rodrigo, the Pope.
That image. Yeah.
Thus, in the process of time, an ungodly custom grown strong was kept as law, and graven images worshipped by the commandments of kings.
And how did they do that? They forced it on the northern kingdom by death, man, and the southern kingdom too. You know, they were literally beat you. They'll beat a different name on you and the religion.
Well, the Greeks did that.
Yeah, the master. Which proves they're the modern day Greeks coming back. You know? Well, it tells you that in Joel you have sold them unto the Grecians, but there wasn't those English, but those same Edomites.
Got a quick one. St. Jeremiah 3, going about the spiritual fornication. St. Jeremiah 3 and verse 1, they say, if a man put away his wife and she go from him, become another man's, Shall he return unto her again? Shall not that land be greatly polluted?
Yeah, why? Because when a woman gets with a man and he, that sperm is still in her brain. It never leaves. All right, that woman takes on the man's DNA.
And it says, but thou hast played the harlot with many lovers, yet return again unto me, saith the Lord.
Right. So the Lord is being merciful unto us, man, because he could do away with us just like during the time of Moses. Mm-hmm. He told Moses, like, look, I'm gonna do away with these people. I'm gonna establish you a nation. The Lord didn't do that to us.
Verse 2, it says, lift up thine eyes unto the high places, and see where thou hast not been lying with, and the ways hast thou set for them as the Arabian in the wilderness, and thou hast polluted the land with thy whoredoms and with thy wickedness. Therefore, the showers have been withholden, and there have been no latter rain, and thou hast a whore's forehead.
Can I say something? Here it is, you got these guys that say, that they're us. How come they never go into how wicked as fuck that Israel was? Right. You ever notice there's never no, y'all were wicked, right. There's never no talk about that. No blemish. Right. They always just been these holy people. Right. What about all this shit that Israel's done? Mm-hmm. They never talk about that. The whoredism, the idolatry, they never talk about that. Because it wasn't you.
Right.
Pieces of shit.
They're cavemen. Right. That's all they know. That's why they got these high-end buildings. All they know is being in the cave somewhere.
Yeah, they got in the caves and said, year one.
Right.
And it says, Jeremiah 3 and verse 3, it's like 3. It says, thou refutest to be ashamed, but thou not from this time cry unto me, my father, thou art the God of my youth. Will he reserve his anger forever? Will he keep it to the end? Behold, thou hast spoken and done with things as thou couldest. I'm gonna jump down to verse 6. The Lord said also unto me in the day of Josiah the king, hast thou seen that which black-sided Israel have done? She is gone up upon every high mountain and under every green tree, and there have played the harlot.
Yeah, that's why we got kicked out the land. That's why we ain't never been back. That's why you don't really supposed to go over there right now. Now you did have those chicks going over there, but then the Lord had mercy on them and allowed them to move before shit really got hot. But the Lord's going to plant us back over there.
Right.
That place is going to get bombed too.
Yeah, it has to be cleansed.
And they're living next to a fucking nuclear plant. They live next to where Homer works.
Yeah, exactly. And they fucking eat what's that kosher pig out there, man?
They probably don't, but those fake Jews do.
But they have Tel Aviv. They actually have private rates. Plus, it's right. You can imagine what they're doing now. We can slut walks. Oh man.
Verse 7.
Oh, they worship the Wailing Wall. That's like the same reason we got kicked out the land is what they're doing right now.
Herod set that up. That wall.
Verse 7, and I said after she had done all these things, turn down to me. But she returned not, and her treacherous sister Judah saw it, and I saw when for all the causes whereby backsliding Israel committed adultery, and I put her away, and given her a bill of divorce, yet her treacherous sister Judah feared not, but went and played the harlot also.
Yeah, that's why in Jeremiah 17. That's why in Jeremiah 17, he told Jeremiah, I'm going to discontinue from being a heritage, a prophet. So the prophets forgot who they were. That's why the prophets are back today.
Right. Verse 9, I'm going to go down to verse 11. Verse 9, and it came to pass through the likeness of her whoredom that she defiled the land and committed adultery with stones and with stocks. And yet for all this, her treacherous sister Judah have not turned unto me with her whole heart. But finally said the Lord, and the Lord said unto me, the backsliding Israel had justified herself more than treacherous Judah.
Yeah, because it says the son of Judah is engraved with a pin. Because Judah is, it's the kingdom. That's why he said I'm gonna say the tents of Judah first. Because Judah got the priests, They got the kings. Yahushua came from the tribe of Judah. No.
Anybody got some? All right, back in Baruch 6, I got to finish it off. In verse 15, it says, "For seeing they be but of wood and overlaid with silver and gold, it shall be known hereafter that they are false, or the false gods." And it says, and it shall manifestly appear to all nations and kings that they are no gods, but the works of men's hands, and that there is no work of the Most High in them, who then may not know that they are no gods, for neither can they set up a king in the land or give rain unto men. And why is that? Because Yahweh was the ancient of days, and these false gods are nothing more than just angels on the left hand side. Because the angels on the left hand side, they follow Yahweh. They tremble. At the throne, right at His presence. In the throne of Yahweh. You know what I mean? It says, what's that? Strike 18. The Most High Yahweh created everything in general. These false gods are nothing. That's why when Yahweh comes back, they're gonna destroy everything, man. What's that big ass statue in Brazil?
There's a new one.
Yeah. You're right. Actually,
It's even bigger now.
Yeah.
Now there's a George Floyd statue.
See, all this shit gonna be melted, man.
Niggas about to be putting food by George Floyd. Chicken, what you call it, soul. Anybody got something?
Got one more.
We can end it up Sirach 2 and 10.
Okay. You want Sirach 2 and 10?
Got it. We can end it up with
Sirach 2 and 10.
Oh, go ahead.
Sirach 2 and 10. It says, look at the generations of old and see, did ever any trust in the Lord and was confounded?
Right, the perfect, there's tons of examples, but you can look at Noah, you can look at Jeremiah, you can look at Daniel in the lion's den, you can look at Yahweh Shai on the cross. Nobody that ever put their trust in the Lord got confounded. Elijah got fed by the ravens. He survived during the famine and the drought.
Yep. And it says, or did any abide in his fear and was forsaken?
Right.
Or whom did he ever despise that called upon him?
Right, meaning the Lord never despised no one that called upon him. He never forsook anyone, man. He sent Yahweh Shai here to die for his friends. And he says, no greater love than a man who gives his life for his friends.
Right.
Now replace that scripture. Look at the generations old and see who's ever called on an idol and was delivered.
Right. Right. Woman first. Verse 11, for the Lord Yahweh Shai is full of compassion and mercy, long-suffering, and very pitiful, and forgive the sins and save in time of affliction. And that's coming, soon. Persecution, affliction. But on the other hand, that coin, people out here, they're not going to be saved in their time of persecution and affliction, but the men of Yahweh Shai will, That was it.
That's good. Yeah. Hey, with that, we want to give all praise, honor, and glory unto
Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahushai, Ba'ashem, Kakwadash.
Double honors unto our apostles and elders of Great Millstone. Shalom, Wakasayim, Mabarakim. Peace, mercy, and blessings to the whole elect. Babylon.